Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is the day after 4th of July. We are up here working, beautiful Friday. We got a nice rain last night to kind of cool it off here in Arkansas. The fireworks for most of the night. We've got a 2015 GMC Sierra up here. You might be familiar with the 69 Nova that we've been working on the LS swap in. The owner of that car, this is his daily truck. Apparently got some bad fuel in a town, probably about an hour from here. Made it a few miles down the road. The truck started making noise, didn't want to run right. He ended up putting some plugs and wires in it. Thinks he might have got a hold of some bad fuel, so they drained some fuel out of it, found some water in the fuel. Developed a pretty serious knock though. When he brought it here and we had it on the trailer, we fired it up and it sounded awful. Like probably one of the worst rod knocks in an LT I've heard yet. To the point I don't want to run the truck anymore, so the only code we have in the truck is a P0300. But instead of going and trying to look at live data and misfire data and find out what cylinder's missing, I don't want to run the truck anymore. So we drained the oil out of it. It wasn't too terrible, but there was some metal in it. We cut the filter open. It didn't really look good either. Metal down in the bottom of it and quite a bit of contamination caught inside the filter itself. Sammy just got bank 1 plugs pulled out of it. He said the plugs don't necessarily look bad. We're gonna borescope the motor and we're gonna do a compression test on all cylinders, try to figure out what cylinder's dead and if it's a major catastrophic failure or if it's something that we might be able to fix, get all this contaminated fuel out of the tank and throw some fresh fuel in it and maybe get this thing running again. But honestly, I think the bottom end of this thing's gone. I think it's lost a rod or a piston somewhere, and there's no hope for that part of it. But I can't call that until we see it. So we're gonna dive into this thing and scope this motor out and see what we got. All right, guys. So we're borescoping this motor. We borescoped cylinder 2. We found some water down on top of the piston. It's quite a bit of rust on the cylinder walls up on the top of, on the upper part of the cylinder walls. Now we're in number 4, and we've got a pretty raunchy gouge in the side of, actually a few of them, some raunchy gouges in the side of the cylinder walls. I can see some debris down on the top of the piston itself. Go ahead and stick this thing in number 6. Cylinder 2 also looked like it might have had a spot in the top of the piston where something, I don't know if it's a bent valve or what, but something made contact with it. Can't really see much on 6 because it's pretty much a top dead center. Now we're gonna try cylinder 1. See what we find in there. Let's see. 1 and 6 are gonna be it. That'll be close to top dead center. So pistons right there. Number 3. Piston don't look too bad, from what I can tell. Yes, the top of it. No, they don't.
So why wouldn't all cylinders have water if it was fuel related?
You see the rust setting up on that one. Well, it depends on which injectors actually let the fuel pass through it. Because fuel and water are not the same density.
So water could go through one and fuel go through the other.
Okay, so we got a little bit of rust at the top of this one. Look at the scoring on the cylinder wall. Oh yeah, I can't change. Bottom of the head.
Oh, to there. That piston. That piston?
You see the rust setting up in the corners.
Yeah, all around the edges right there. Said, oh!
We got them over here at the drag tree in the corner, taking a little break.
Oh, damn.
Oh, look at that.
She got me. Oh, 004.
That's Sammy in the left lane, Emma in the right lane. Emma's over here hitting you with the consistency though.
Yeah,
red
off
lid
the
on that
trans
one.
brake. Grab the button.
Ooh. Alright, I'm done.
Yeah, made her quit. I'm him.
Alright, so we've pulled the fuses and relays for the fuel pump and the injectors. We've got our compression gauge hooked up on cylinder 2, which is the one that looked the worst. We've got Sammy inside the truck now. We're going to try to crank this thing over and see what kind of compression it builds and see what our next step is. So far we found a lot of rust on the cylinder walls. We found some water in this cylinder. and overall the motor's just not looking too hot on the inside. So let's see what we got. All right, go ahead. Cylinder 2 is dead as a doornail. Yeah, go ahead. All right, so number 4's got 160 pounds, 165 pounds probably, which is great. Number 2 though, deader than a doornail. At the end of the day, we found water in cylinder 2. We found quite a bit of rust on the cylinder walls. Not only in cylinder 2, but it was the worst. That piston does have a mark on the top of it where something has hit it. I don't know whether it's a valve. I am kind of suspecting a bent valve. What we're about to do now is we're going to contact the owner and tell him like, hey man, this is kind of where we're at. This thing's going to need a motor. We have no compression on too. Even if we put a head on this thing, you could hear it under the truck. The bottom end was definitely knocking. So, you know, if he wants us to pull a valve cover and pull the rocker arms and stuff, we will. But at this point, we've got water in the cylinders, we've got rust in the cylinders. I'm not really confident in putting this thing back together and it living any extended period of time. My diagnosis on this is the truck needs a motor. If he wants us to pull this thing and tear it down and see what the damage is and try to rebuild this one or put it back together, we can send the block off and get it worked and see what we can come up with. But I can already tell you it's probably going to be more cost effective for us to call LKQ and see what we can't get a 624 under our account. I know from GM they're outrageous. Come with a good warranty, but they are outrageous, and then you're still stuck under a DOD and AFM system in order to have that warranty. Same thing with LKQ, but you know, you got to pick the lesser of two evils, or pick your poison of choice in that sense. Me, I'm a non-DOD guy, so I'm gonna say screw that warranty and delete the DOD and whatever I get myself. But everybody's a little different, so we're gonna call that on this. We're gonna kind of put this thing back together the best we can. No intentions of running it. We're gonna sticky note on the clutch that says no oil. Yeah, Sammy already got it. He done wrote the note. So we're gonna put that in there. No oil in engine. That way it doesn't get cranked over. I'll probably leave the fuel pump, relay, and everything out of it until we get an answer from the owner and decide what he wants to do. In the meantime, you guys hop around, check out some of our playlists, some of our videos on here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on our socials at 727 Motorsports. Smash that subscribe button.